Right, boys. Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Hashtag Just Talk. Today we are joined by Alfie Barker, West Ham fan. Introduce yourself. You are back.
The Hammers!
How are you, mate? How's things?
I'm good, thanks. I'm very good, especially after the weekend fixtures.
Right, lovely to hear. That went down really well, didn't it? There, you went from really high to really low.
It's almost.
Bruce, how you doing, man? Bruce, you're a Newcastle fan, looks like. Other than that, or you're just dressed up as a zebra. How's it going, anyway?
Unfortunately, yeah, I am. Yeah, all good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, all good, mate. I'm going to find it quite interesting because I always told this is the first episode we haven't got a Liverpool fan on. So,
thanks, fuck for that.
So, here we go. We try not to swear, and he swore straight
sorry,
away.
No, you mentioned Liverpool. That's it. I'm gone.
Any sponsors watching, don't worry. He doesn't swear all the time, but only we let him out on weekends. But Bruce, we're going to just go straight into this, mate, because I do follow you on all your social media platforms. You're quite outspoken, and you're always arguing with people. Southampton 2, Newcastle 0. Straight into it. What's your thoughts on the game?
Absolute shambles from start to finish.
Where are these problems, though? Where is it going wrong for Newcastle?
To be honest with you, I can't understand why we're having problems, because if you look at the transfer window, we've made some good signings. So you've got Callum Wilson, Ryan Fraser, Jamal Lewis is also a prospect. But if you look at like our front line, you've got Wilson, Fraser, Miggy, Almiron, and you've got Alan Saint-Maximin. That's a lot of pace. That's a lot of attacking intent. But you've got the manager persisting with this ultra defensive play.
It's strange because you should be going very direct. From the first goal that I've seen, you've just caused your own problems. You've tried to play it from the back. You know, I said on a podcast before, you know, it's not illegal to take a goal kick to kick it 50 yards, 60, 70 yards. It's not illegal. You're allowed to do it. Like, it hasn't changed the rules. You know, and you've messed around with it on the edge of the box, and Southampton have just punished you.
It's just silly mistakes. But again, Almiron's playing too deep in that formation. He should be playing as a number 10, not Saint-Maximin. Saint-Maximin's better out on the wing. So
where is he playing him? Centre mid?
He was playing as a holding midfielder.
Oh, fair enough. Right, and in my notes straight away, I've just copied and pasted from the first goal. So the second goal was basically comical as well, wasn't it?
Carbon copy again, yeah. Messing about at the back.
It just seems like your player of the season is either going to be Saint-Maximin or it's going to be your goalkeeper, Darlow. And I quite like Darlow. I think he's quite a great goalkeeper.
Against Southampton. It makes me the
same. You win almost every game. Your man of the match is the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think it shouts very much Sunderland at me with Pickford.
Now you're insulting me.
But, you know, why is there such a bad vibe coming out of Newcastle at the moment?
It's a culmination of things. It's the takeover. I think people are fed up of watching this dross every week. They want to change. They haven't had their change. It's still ongoing as well. Everyone's still on tenterhooks waiting for something to happen.
Is it ever going to happen? Sorry, Alf, go on.
It's Ashley. Mike Ashley, his ego is so big. It's unbelievable. He even renamed St James's Park Sports Direct Stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous. It's like West Ham changing it from the Boleyn to Ann Summer Stadium.
I don't know. I think that's a lot more appealing to me, the Ann Summer Stadium, than the Boleyn.
His ego so big. It's not like he hasn't got any money to spend. He's loaded. He's minted. So every window, Newcastle could be spending money, but he doesn't.
Well, I don't know. He spent 40 million on Joel Linton, and then he spent 30 on Wilson this year. You know, it's not like it's been completely dry, has it, Bruce?
That's why we're all getting frustrated, because he's now actually put his money in his pocket. He's put his hands in his pocket, and he actually is trying to sell the club. But now you've got the Premier League trying to block it.
Yeah, but how do you feel about that? I think obviously that's a totally different topic, but
that's fair enough.
How does it make you feel? Obviously, because I know you'd rather. With me, it's rather the more the devil you know than you don't. I know they would pump a lot of money into it, but it's what they get up to behind the scenes.
It's just everyone's sick of it now. I think it's been, I think he's been in charge 12 years. We've had enough. We want to change. We're tired of seeing mediocre football now.
Do you feel that Ashley feels he can get away with it a lot more? It's just the fact that there's no fans in the ground.
Yeah, and I think this is what Steve Bruce is lucky to have as well. There's no fans in the ground giving him stick.
the same with West Ham. It's exactly the same with West Ham.
You know what?
Well,
Yeah,
West Ham owners as well. Because there's no one there to protest in the. Of course, we're doing well now.
Yeah.
But fans are still pissed off with angry with the owners because of the last 10 years.
But realistically, I've always wanted to. Sorry, Alf. Carry on. Sorry.
So, and we've had enough now as well. So that's why I feel for Newcastle fans, because up in Newcastle, football is a religion.
Yeah.
It's massive up there. Newcastle fans, apart from the family and friends, things they care most about is Newcastle United.
Yeah.
It's like a cult following almost.
As a genuine question, because I'm being totally honest with this, but what is the difference between Rafa Benitez and Bruce? Because I'm just looking at results of league tables and stuff like that. It doesn't seem to be that much difference.
Entertaining football, I think, that's the main difference, mate. I mean,
it's like that. Sorry, where people get frustrated because this media rhetoric that Newcastle fans are expecting Champions League football. We want this amazing manager. That's not the case. Bruce has actually had more funds given to him in the Premier League than Rafa has. Rafa got backing in the Championship just to get us out the Championship. But as soon as he got promoted, that stopped. He got no backing. When you've got Bruce, it's got on paper a better squad than Rafa, and it's still the same as last season. There's no strategy. There's no style of play. And this is where the fans are getting frustrated now.
Okay, cool. So if Mike Ashley turns around and sacks Steve Bruce tomorrow, who would you like to see come in as manager?
God, I'm not.
I think you should go for.
To be honest,
Eddie Howe.
Yeah, I've been told off for that as well, but I reckon Eddie Howe would do a good job with us.
It's quite bizarre. He was linked with the Arsenal job and a few other big jobs about 12 months ago. Tonight, he's being linked with the Sheffield Wednesday job. We're at the bottom of the Championship.
Yeah.
It just shows if your stock's up in football, you've got to kind of cash in. It's strange because the whole takeover kind of messed you up. You've been linked with Pochettino and ridiculously being linked with Mbappe and a few others. But
never going to happen.
Can you imagine Mbappe playing under Steve Bruce? But on a serious thing, back to the game.
Go for it.
From what I watched it again tonight, Southampton wasn't. I know they were sitting top of the Premier after this game. They didn't look fantastic, did they? I know they created a lot of chances. I think they've just got a bit of confidence. Their strikers are taking shots at 25 yards, 30 yards, which they probably wouldn't have done this time last year. But Alf, where do you think Southampton have turned it round? Because the manager did lose. Was it 9-0 to Leicester? They stuck with him.
Was that him? Was that?
Yeah, it was him. Yeah.
I mean, it was that wasn't his fault because it was a form leading up to that as well, which was that was awful. But after that, he changed. I think the tactic change was massive. He went to like a 3-5-2 to save off relegation. It worked. And then this season he's gone back to 4-4-2, which he played at Leipzig and was very successful. Now he's got two informed strikers in Che Adams, who scored in past 6 games, got 2 assists and 3 goals, and Danny Ings, who seems to be scoring for fun when he's fit, and Ward-Prowse is playing really well as well. So he's doing very, very well with limited budget.
And you just got to look at they went at their full gear, and that's without Ings as well.
Yeah.
Bruce, going into January, what do you want to see from Newcastle? Do you want to see him put his hands in his pocket again? I think all 3 of us know he won, but would you like to see him do it again?
Yeah, but I don't think it makes a change at this point. It's more a managerial point of view now we're looking at.
Okay, fair enough. See, I put in my notes, I'm probably not going to agree with you anyway. I don't, it's a bit of be careful what you wish for. Look, Steve Bruce, last year he wasn't really in a relegation battle. Okay, you can put it down to it, but he was never really flirting with the bottom 3. He was always he was never doing anything special, but he was always quite above it. And I think you're going to have the same again this year. But I think with what the thing is with Newcastle fans, as you said earlier, a lot of them do still think you're the top side, which you used to be. You've got your ivory back with Manchester United. You're both going for mid-table. So I don't know what else you could ask for. But, I would like to see Newcastle push on again, with the days of Sir Bobby Robson and that. But, Yeah, we're gonna move it on swiftly. We'll come back to some Newcastle ownership stuff. I'm quite interested. Talking on the point of Man United, Everton 1, Manchester United 3. Man United have turned up again away from home, which seems to be really strange. Alf, is this Everton season over now? You know, has the push gone?
I don't think they'll be pushing for top 4. Nah.
Do you think it was just a very good start, or?
I think very good start. Yeah, it was a very good start, and Spurs has picked up the form recently as well, and I think they're two. I mean, apart from their goal, they didn't really create anything against United. And United has just lost in where they lose in Turkey, and I think United could be a team there that can be there for taking for teams at home, especially if you've got someone who's good at attacking like Everton.
Bruce, why is this a problem for Man United trying to win at home? You know, regardless if they go to Everton, there's no fans. There's no fans at United. There's no fans at Everton. You know, why is it such a difference for them to be playing at Old Trafford?
I don't know. It's like you say, it's strange because there's no home advantage. There's no away. You know what I mean? There's no pressure on you. It's strange, mate. I don't know what it is. Or the players may be scared as soon as they see the Old Trafford sign. I don't know.
I think they rely way too much on Fernandes.
Okay.
They should push. They should push Pogba up further up. Play Van der Beek and Fernandes as centre mids. Have Martial, White, Rashford on the wings, and Greenwood up front. That's a good attacking formation and.
See, it's quite interesting you said that. With the United fan we had on last week, he was adamant that Pogba should be gone. The week before, sorry. He said Pogba should be gone. He seems a lot of the problems coming through him. They seem to play a lot better without him. But, I want to touch on Everton a bit more because, they're going through this blip. But Bruce, where do you think they could finish? Do you think they could push for a Europa League spot or maybe possibly a Champions League spot?
I'd say within sort of like a top 8 bracket. I reckon Everton have got a chance of pushing for that, especially under Ancelotti.
They've got some very good players. They brought in Rodriguez. They've, their strength. I say strengthened. He was already there. Calvert-Lewin just seemed to find his form, and I generally thought it was just going to go away. Right, I know they've lost on the weekend, but he scored again, which is quite important for Everton going into their next game. I'm looking at the league table now. Again, I don't want to write teams off or anything. We've only played 8 games. It's a very funny point in the season, and when we're doing a podcast, we're talking about it every week. You seem to forget it's a slow progression. It is a bit of a marathon. But, I think quite personally, I think they're going to do a bit of a Leicester from last season. I think they'll be thereabouts, and they'll kind of just dwindle off. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they'll be doing anything quite spectacular. But as I said, you've got your mid-table battle back with Manchester United, sorry. So enjoy it. That's all I'm really going to say on that game. We touch on the big teams every week. I want to concentrate on the smaller teams this week with yourselves. Manchester City 1, Liverpool 1. Alf, what did you think of this fixture?
I don't like Liverpool, but I don't think it was a penalty. I think that's a harsh penalty. If he's running, so his arms are going to be out. No one runs like a penguin, did they? So it wasn't in an unnatural position. I think that's very, very harsh on Liverpool.
Yeah, Bruce, I hate to say it. Every week I have to sit here and not defend VAR, but talk about it. And I'm quite personally getting sick of it. I feel like I'm just working at St George's.
Yeah.
What would Bruce? What would you do to change VAR? Would you bring a bit of common sense into it, and how?
I think there needs to be common sense. Even the handball rule as well, as soon as your arm goes up, it's stupid because it's a natural reaction as you jump. Your hands aren't going to go. It's just all these decisions they keep making and these alterations, it's ruining the game, and they've got to try and put some common sense into it now.
Do you think maybe they should have an ex-footballer in there?
No, because...
Someone who's played the game at a professional level, a high level, who understands. Because referees ain't getting it right.
I personally think it should be a panels of referees.
Yeah.
Because if it was a decision that went down to the footballers, you then wouldn't have a panels of referees that have done it because they're not the ones making the decision. I generally think what should happen if we've got it in goal line technology with a ball hitting the bar and coming down, right? I know we've seen it gone wrong once, but from about your shoulder, from here, there should be something in the shirt.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in every shirt, only for the players. You know, do your cut-off point. The cut-off point is normally on your shoulder. Just below the shoulder. Just have it at that point on the sleeve, so it's got a magnetic thing on it. So if it does it, something goes off, it's hit the arm. All right, it might not be a penalty. I'm going to go look at it because we can't ignore it now. Because if it's hitting arm anywhere, no matter what the position is, whether he's up there and not even looking, with football, we need consistency. It's the only way you're going to make it fair. Whether you agree with it or not, you need consistency. You know,
it's bad, isn't it? So
I think going back to the Tottenham thing with the dire situation, which was a dire situation, to be fair. You know, he's jumped up and he's got his hands out. He's not even looking at the ball. No way on this earth should that have been given as a penalty. But if it then happens again this weekend, it has to be given because it's been given and we need consistency.
Exactly.
But again, we're rambling on about VAR, which I didn't want to do. Bruce, in all honesty, do you think this is a two-horse race this year between Manchester City and Liverpool?
I don't think so. I think it's still quite open at the minute. It's too early to call it.
It is very, very open because Spurs are in form.
You look at
there's 3 or 4 teams in there who can still win it. You know, it's definitely not a 2-horse race. It's definitely open.
How critical is that penalty going to be? That penalty miss, Alf, going to be, Alfie?
I'm not sure because it's such an unpredictable season. You can't predict if it's going to be critical or not. It could be, but then you know Liverpool might get found out about Van Dijk, or you know you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. That's what I love about this season. It's unpredictable. Anything can happen.
Right, as I said. I know everyone to be fuming. It was a big fixture, but I talk about Liverpool every week, and I'm sick of it. All right, so if you don't like it, tell me in the comments because I'm sick of it. On to my next one: Leicester 1, Wolves 0. Shout out to Luke Burns. Great prediction. Leicester be struggling. They're now currently.
He's been very, very quiet on social media recently, hasn't he? You've noticed.
I think they currently sit in top of the Premier League, or is it?
Top, yeah. No, it's them or Spurs, I think.
Well, from when I was writing the notes, they was top of the league. So, Bruce, are they going to do it again? Surely not.
I don't think so. Not this season.
You don't think it'd be this season? So you do think they'll do it again at some point?
No, don't put words in my mouth now.
I need some more clips now. But
that was the most boring game of football I've seen in ages. It was so boring. Absolutely diabolical game of football.
Wolves are sort of one.
Wolves can't score. Wolves are not going to get top 6 this season because they can't outscore their opponents.
They started very slow last year. I think it could just be a bit of deja vu again. Is it It's just weird, isn't it? It's just how some football clubs are. No matter who's in charge, it's just the philosophy is to start rubbish.
I mean, if West Ham put 3 past you, you know you're in trouble.
Oh, yeah, if West Ham put 1 past anyone, you know you're in trouble. But all jokes aside, boys, there was a lot of conversation between Wolves and Leicester if they was going to get top 4 this year. Alf, if you could pick one realistically who could push for top 4, who would it be and why? Leicester's a realistic one because they've got goal scorers. I think Vardy's still scoring. They've got creative players like Maddison in there as well, and they're good. They're good at the back as well. They're a good team. They're a very, very good team. They could be pushing. They will be pushing for top 4 this evening. Bruce, thoughts on that?
I think it'll be between those two. I think they'll both be competing for it because personally, I can see Spurs and Everton slipping into top 4.
You can see Everton slipping into the top 4.
Yeah, I've just got a funny feeling Everton will do well this year. They've got a decent.
Is this just the new manager and Rodriguez coming in, Calvert-Lewin on form? Yeah. Is there anything more to it?
Football they're playing as well is unreal at times. Obviously now they've hit a little bit of a blip.
Okay, cool, brilliant. It's I put in my notes one of Wolves' problems. They just never replaced Jota, did they? But then I kind of feel like was that there to he probably wanted to leave, but was it there to find out to FFP? Do you know what I mean? Was that there to balance the books?
They spent £45 million on Fabio Silva, who's an unproven youngster, and they should have replaced him with a more of an experienced
Well,
player.
if anyone plays Football Manager, he's not unproven. I think. I think. Yeah. Well, if you know, you know. It's just that's how it is, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously, might be in the future. He's still young, isn't he? But maybe that inexperience coming to Premier League.
Yeah, possibly. I'm
quite
going to move it on. Talking about smaller teams, Arsenal 0, Villa 3.
That was unbelievable.
We had Matt on last week, and we all agreed they was in transition and they was doing well, you know. And then this results happened. In my notes, I've got WTF was this all about? You know, Bruce, how good are Villa at the minute? I thought they were just going to start to fall off. They've got some very good young English players, Grealish and Watkins. How far can this Villa team go?
I'd say maybe top 10. I wouldn't go too major.
Yeah.
Decent side. You've got Grealish. They need to hold on to Grealish as well. I think that's key for them in January.
I think it'll be gone by next summer. I think.
Yeah, I think with COVID restrictions still in, I can't really see the January window blowing up too much.
No.
But you know what, Alf? What is, you know? I know we had this conversation at the start of the season about Watkins. I think he's proven us both wrong. But you know, should he be in that England team?
I mean, you've got Tammy Abraham who's been selected, and he's been doing nothing all season. So why can't someone like Watkins be in there?
I don't know. He's got a few goals here and there.
Yeah, but Watkins is consistently scoring. What else has he got to do to play to be in England squad? And Grealish as well. Grealish, but they've both been on fire. They both should be in the England team. England squad, I think.
Bruce, what do you think of the whole Grealish situation with Gareth Southgate? You know, we're about to go into a national break. Should he be getting minutes?
Baffled, yeah. I mean, the one thing you can see from the last round of games you had was we lacked creativity, and the one most creative player you've got sitting on the bench. I don't get it either.
No, it's
fair point. I think we'll cover it a bit more next week in the international break. But again, sorry, we're just flying through these. I want to get onto the subject.
Sorry, going back to the Arsenal game. Sorry, Rob, no, you won't get through it, but that formation was awful. I mean, it worked against United, but going at home to a team like Villa, playing Tierney at centre back and Saka left back, it's not going to work. They should have went with, again, 4-2-3-1. I mean, that game was crying out for an Ozil because they had no creativity. I don't know what happened with Ozil, but they needed more
goals. He's not creating jobs for mascots. But, he was back today. He was back today, by the way. So yeah.
Ozil though.
And you got Pepe on the bench as well, who's their record signing, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think, as Matt said last week, I don't think Arteta rates him that much. No. But you know, he's spent 72 million on him. Like, again, that's just how football is now. That's the new 30 million, isn't it? The 70 odd million. But I think time will tell. When I meant I want to push through this, it's because I want to get onto the owner stuff. Don't worry, I don't want to just get rid of this episode, boys. Don't worry.
No, that's right. I mean,
West Brom 0, Spurs 1.
Again.
I think the only thing to take from this, I hate to say it, they've played like champions. They've shithoused their way through to a 1-0 win away from home. But I think the key thing to take from this game, Alan Shearer, Harry Kane scored his 150th league goal. The reason why I said Alan Shearer,
he's going to break that record.
Is it haunting? Are you losing sleep on him catching up with your boyhood hero, Alan Shearer?
I've said this to Ryan and my old man. I've said I reckon Kane will beat it or equalise it.
Well, he's on 150. Record is 260. He needs 11 goals to break it. He can do that in 2 or 3 seasons.
Hey? 2 or 3 seasons?
No, sorry, I got my math mixed up.
He needs 110 goals. He's just going to go mad. He's got 40 every year.
Sorry, I got my math mixed up. I'm going to get out of 27. So by the time he's 31, 32, I reckon he'll get he'll got the record.
Bruce, do you think he'll smash it, or do you think he'll just edge it?
I think he'll just edge it.
Yeah.
He's got a good chance of beating it. I think so.
I think it's the whole thing if he does stay in England as well, isn't it? I know he doesn't seem the player to go off to Barcelona or Germany or something, you know. But, you know, I think he's got there so far now. I think that's what will keep him in the Prem. But, you know, realistically in the Prem, if he was to leave Spurs, where is he going to go? City have paid the money for him. I know he scored goals at City, but is he just go? I think he'd rather suit more of a Man United. Not to the fact of football they're playing, but just the club philosophy and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Definitely. And as I said about the Man United just signing players for the retweets and likes last week, I think that fits into their philosophy massively as well. I personally, it was strange because I'm a Leyton Orient fan. We had Kane come over on loan, and you know, he scored a couple of goals, got a few starts, but he never showed the signs that he was going to go on and realistically be this top player. You know, I've always had these things like when you have players like Charlie Daniels. All right, I know he played at Bournemouth, but he's now at Shrewsbury. You know, this is what the Leyton Orient loanees do. They do really well for a little bit. They play really well for us. We think they're going to go on and be amazing. Now, next thing you know, he's scoring hat-tricks in the World Cup, taking the Golden Boot home. But all you England fans out there, you can all thank me in the comments for Leyton Orient being the best English player there ever was.
He's done well for himself, though, to be clear.
Alfie, your time to shine. West Ham 1, Fulham 0. What a penalty that was, Bruce, wasn't it?
Well,
I mean, when that penalty was given, I've never been so angry before in a football game. That was, again, I don't think that was a penalty, personally. He touched him, but he bent down like a sniper was in the stands.
I think, you know what? I hadn't even looked at the penalty decision. It was more of the chip.
That's unbelievable.
He's not even chipped it, though. He's kind of just like...
Imagine they go down by a point.
Can you imagine it? I think they'll go down by about 20 points for them. I think they're awful. I don't think they should be in the Premier.
What I bet was Fabianski was giving it to him at the end. He proper pointed at him and shouted at him and proper told him to do one. And that's fair enough. He tried to take the mick out of him. And
they're paid to deal with that, man. I think he must have forgot a goalkeeper was supposed to protect the nets.
At some point, I thought that Lookman had just thought the penalty wasn't given, and he kind of just went, "Oh, here, Fabianski, take the goal kick." And no, you know, it's Bruce. You know, you do play yourself. If you've got a penalty in the 90, whatever minute it was, 98th minute, what are you doing with that penalty? What are you doing? Sorry, Bruce. What was that?
Sorry, mate.
Either side footing it. There's no mucking about.
Yeah, I think it is just put your foot through it. If you're saving it, it's coming back to me, or you're going in the net with it. It's one of them, innit? It's
especially if Brighton just
right. I find it quite interesting now. I've gone through most of the fixtures I wanted to talk about briefly.
Sorry, Rob.
Go on.
But it's another West Ham game where we can't. We should have been we should have won a game 3-4-0. Really. Their goalkeeper was their best player, but you know and us not being clinical against teams like Fulham almost cost us again. Almost cost us.
You say this to me a lot about West Ham, how you should have put the game to bed and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't watch West Ham enough to be able to comment on it, but where is the problem? I'm not going to say problem because you're in some quite good form at the moment. But you know, even before that and the weeks building up to it, what's changed? Why have you managed to hit this good form?
David Moyes.
You say it down. What, David Moyes being far away as possible, or
no? That is player. There's a bloke called ex-director employee. He's like in the know, and he said the players absolutely love Moyes. They love playing for him, and that's shown. And Moyes' formation change to the 5-3-2 has been quality. Because we can count now, we can counter well, and you know, Moyes has come in and rejuvenated the team. I mean, I'll admit I was sceptical when he came back. I thought, oh no, not him again. But he's run me around. He's proved me wrong.
Because he was kind of in a bit of turmoil at the beginning of the season when you build up to playing us, and then after that you've just suddenly picked up this form game after game.
Yeah, it's people. I think he's he likes people who work hard. That's why Fornells is playing ahead of Benrahma and Towns and players thrive off that because he likes that sort of thing, and players will like playing. I think, and you can see the equaliser against Spurs how much he cares because he ran down that touchline.
Yeah, but even I was shut down in my living room, and I couldn't care less about West Ham.
Yeah, but Pellegrini, he was just stood there, not celebrating for like a statue. But that shows that if the manager cares, then the players will care as well. The players will thrive off that.
Well, I think that'd be enough on West Ham. I'm sick of hearing about them, to be fair. But let's get to the juicy bit. Let's talk bad owners! Exclamation mark! I've wrote down.
I think me and Bruce can do like a 3-hour segment on this too.
Well, you say this. I think at one point, we Leighton Orient had the worst owner out of all the three of us at one point. But Alf, we touched on it with Bruce a bit. Alf, what is going on at West Ham? Why are the owners so bad?
Well, I mean, the transfer policy for one is ridiculous. We've only got one scat at the club. One scat. We have a Premier League team with one scat. I mean, that's atrocious. And the owners only use agents they worked with before. I mean, that's ridiculous as well. It's their promises. When they promised us, when we first moved, they promised us a world-class striker, a 20-goal season striker. We bought Cleary and Sarza and Ashley Fletcher, who scored about 3 goals between them.
I can't be. It's not the owner's fault they're not scoring goals, though, is it?
It's the promises that they said they wouldn't change our badge. A year later, they changed our badge to a more commercial badge. They said that when we moved from Berlin, that local businesses could move around, move with us. They didn't. They chose a more expensive, They said to us they said to us there wouldn't be a gap between the pitch and the stands. I had my binoculars to see the stands. It's all these lies. It's atrocious. And
so if the club was to sell tomorrow, not realistically, it probably can't because of the deal they've got with the council. But whatever. What realistically? What does the new owner have to do, Alf?
The new owner has to take the time to understand the fans, understand the history of the club, and understand what it means to be what West Ham means. I think the owners are disjointed themselves from the fans. They don't understand. I mean, they say they're West Ham fans, but they're not. But the owners have to be just take the time and be honest. You have fun about everything. West Ham fans. If Golden Sullivan had said we're moving, try and progress, but we can't promise it's not going to be overnight. If they hadn't said we'll be Champions League in 5 years, West Ham fans wouldn't have been. But we know what we are. We're not going to be fighting in the top 5. But it's those promises that don't promise something that you know you can't deliver.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think even personally from family, my dad just we went over there for the Europa League game and he was just like, "This is dead to me. This ain't West Ham." Do you know what I mean?
They got to know what it is to be West Ham. Like, you walk around the club, the stadium, and there's hardly anything recognising legends of West Ham. There's no, tributes to them. You think, well, that's not West Ham.
Well, to be fair, you have copied Arsenal with doing the trophies around the side of the stadium. There just hasn't been one in the last 40 years. So, it's a bit of a...
I mean, they let James Croydon go by email.
They're busy people. Moving it on, Bruce. Would you take the Dildo Brothers, as West Ham fans call them? Would you take them tomorrow as your owners?
Yeah. And the other thing I was going to say to counter Alfie's, obviously I do sympathise with West Ham fans, but they have kind of spent money. They have invested. You know what I mean? And it's not like they haven't actually given the crack of the whip. I think it's a case of bad decisions.
Go on.
In the last 10 years, the first time they spent something like a net spend £100 million in transfer window was once in the last 10 years. When you see, I mean, but one's a multi-millionaire and one's a billionaire. They can afford to spend a lot of money in every transfer window. And another thing as well, Simon's claimed credit for transfers of Sufal, Suchek, and Poem, but everyone knows they weren't his transfers.
I don't know, because obviously we had Bilic. Obviously, he got him into Europe. He had Payet. He was the star man. He lost Payet. Wasn't able to replace him straight away. Then you had the whole Arnautovic situation once Bilic was gone. Then Pellegrini came in. They spent all this money bringing in Haller, and it hasn't been given that time to gel, I feel.
They didn't back Moyes with that sort of money either. That's annoying as well. You back Pellegrini, but you don't back Moyes.
Did Dimitri Payet play for West Ham? They should have sung a song about it or something. I don't know. They should have made a song for him or something. They should have let us know they got him. But
Arnautovic made Payet look like a saint. I think.
Cheers, Alf. I just kind of want to lean into Newcastle a bit more because Bruce, for you, what is the main problem with him? I know, regardless of the stuff of the investing and stuff like that, because when you're signing players for 40 and 30 mil, you've got to think, Championship sides and League Ones, I know they're down there for a reason, but they can't really spend that sort of money. Like when we had the Leyton Orient owners, they weren't even paying the players. This is kind of where you got to look at it, and it kind of nearly killed the club.
Yeah.
But again, we'll save that for another pod. But how do you improve Newcastle United with their owners?
Sorry, what was that, Rob?
How would you improve Newcastle United's owners?
We're not even asking for millions and upon millions to be spent. It's just our training ground's centuries old. It hasn't been since Bobby Robson was there. The academy needs massive investment, I think, as well. That's the main thing. Because the other thing is, instead of wasting money on all these names, we should be having youngsters coming through as well. It's not all about just splashing the cash.
Do you think Mike actually watches Newcastle, or do you think he's just got it mixed up with goal 1 and goal 2 and just kind of thought you'd have won the Champions League?
I think the best 2 years to come back and start watching that. So that's what it will be, really.
Yeah, I think it's just embarrassing, isn't it? From looking in, there's clear problems there. They've changed it to the Sports Direct Arena. As much as, look, it's what Alf said. It's about your history as well. St James's Park, and you're a club. You are a massive club. What did your ground hold? 70? Is it? Sorry, your
50,000, is it?
52,000.
I'm saying 70, but I think it's the Bernabeu. But it's a massive ground. It's a proper football stadium as well. Your fans, as we said, it is a religion up there. It is massive.
Yeah.
But I asked this question to Alfie. When the new owner comes in, what does he have to do to get the fans on side?
You've just got, like Alfie says, you've just got to pay into the history of the club, respect the fans as well, because they love that club. They spend their hard money week in, week out to watch that team. That is their getaway every weekend.
Yeah.
And just like the stuff I said with putting money into the academy, they're not asking for a lot. All they want is to be able to be comfortable, not look over their shoulders and worry about relegation every year. Yeah,
I think it's just that whole... A lot of clubs are going to do that, though, because they kind of understand they haven't got the money to break into the top 6, maybe the top 8. But, it must be worth long-term about 200 million every year with the TV money and the ticket sales and the sponsorships. You can't really blame Mike Ashley for kind of looking behind his shoulder. Does that make sense?
He's making a killing.
Yeah, I know, but it's only so much you can put into the club as well. It's... Of course, I'd like to see you get the new owners. I was looking forward to you pushing on and taking over the world with Mbappe, but it just wasn't to be, was it? Again, that's just a totally new...
Sorry to cut you, Rob.
That's all right. Go on, continue. It's fine.
There's talks in the background that this stuff's still rumbling on, so whether or not that comes to fruition is a different story.
What is the update on that at the moment? I'm pretty sure you'll know a lot more.
Basically, Mike Ashley is like a group of lawyers now to take this further with the Premier League. It's the same law company that helped Man City with the Champions League trial.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think the Premier League were right to block it because their human rights in Saudi Arabia is atrocious.
Yeah, but even that's in the background, that's being sorted as well. They're starting to sort out the TV rights and all that stuff.
Human rights. I mean,
and
the touchy subject is.
It is a really touchy subject we're not really going to go into, but I think it's a can of worms because if you open that up, I think you can then look into Man City a bit, And,
yeah, that's true.
You could then probably go and look into Abramovich. He hasn't exactly been the most hasn't been a saint, has he? You know what I mean? There's probably a lot of owners. You know, Leighton Orient old owner was like part of like an Italian mafia. You know, we had Desena, who played for Liverpool, on 35 grand a week at Leighton Orient. That's normally what our wage bill is. You know, it's Bruce. I'm going to put you on the spot with this question. What do the Premier League need to do to protect these football clubs?
To protect them.
Do you feel the test is enough? You know, the fitting. I forget what the test called. I did write it down. I need to find it. The fit and proper test, they call it. Well, every owner has it before he goes in. I just don't think it's enough.
Well, yeah, from what I've heard, when our situation is going on, basically it's, are you in any debt? Have you got a criminal record? And that's basically all you need to pass the checks. If you clear that, you're fine. Basically, that's not enough.
Surely Mike Ashley's got a criminal record. I'm not. You know what? I'll call him out on it if he's watching this special.
That's the past 12 years, isn't he? What he's done Newcastle is criminal.
Well, yeah, could go down for that alone, but
like how much you're going to actually put in, and there should be proof of that as well over the course of X amount of time.
Okay, brilliant. As you know, I am a Leighton Orient fan, and you know we've been affected during these COVID times with the virus and stuff like that. I partly say, I want your opinion on this. I think all clubs should pay. I've said this to you for past, Alf. All clubs should pay into a pot, regardless of what their income is and what their outings is. It should all go into a pot. So when a team is proper struggling, it's like when we did a couple of years ago, that whole pot should go to that club to save them.
Yeah. You
kick the owner out and give it to him. Bruce, do you feel that would work? And how would it make you feel if it went to help Sunderland?
Yeah, I think maybe I might have to change my idea on that one now.
No, but on a realistic thing, do you think it's something the Premier League should do?
Yeah, I think so. It can only help smaller teams, isn't it? So they're not struggling so much.
Alf?
I mean, I think if West Ham gave, so say for example, West Ham gave Lagan Redbridge a yearly fee of 500 grand. That wouldn't mean much to West Ham, but that'd mean hell of a lot to Lagan Redbridge.
I think it's all part of the affiliate stuff, you know, but it's kind of drawing every club to one, isn't it? You know, like.
But then again, there's the argument of
why should you be obliged to look after?
Yeah, then there's the argument why should the Polish team be obliged to do that?
Yeah,
but I think because football for the fans, really, I think football should kick back the fans. When the fans lose their club, it is heartbreaking, like what happened with Bury.
Yeah, it is, you know. But, you know, Bury was overspending on players and wages and stuff, you know.
But that's not a fan's fault, though, is it?
Again, it does go down to the owners a lot of the time, you know. And this is why I feel this fit and proper stuff and this FFP should be cut down on massively. But we're going to wrap it up there.
That's the other side of the argument, isn't it? It is down to the owners to keep them in the back. We could
go on about it all day. But, Bruce, as it is your show, you're on as a special guest today.
Thank you.
You've joined the Dad's Club, haven't you?
Yes, I have, mate.
Oh, congratulations!
Cheers.
Listening to your missus ramble on before the show. He's 8 months tomorrow. Is that correct? Or am I more clued up than you?
Yeah, you're more clued up than me. It sounds like.
Bruce, I touched on it. I touched on it last week. Obviously, I had a difficult birth for the son and that. How are you? It's quite clear that I haven't seen you over at CSM playing on a Sunday with Grant's lot or on a Saturday lot. How are you finding juggling this all as a dad?
It's testing, but it's the biggest payoff in life, though. I think it's amazing when he smiles at you every day.
You see, I don't have that. I don't get smiles. I just get whacked around the face with a Thomas train. But you know,
if I was Mason looking at that face, I'd back you with Thomas train.
Cheers, Alf. But Bruce, taking that step away from the game, you know, like for me, I was a bit of an idiot running around in centre mid. I probably couldn't tackle you, so I smashed into you. But for me, that was a bit of a release. Are you missing that release? And what have you replaced it with?
Just for me now, time's precious with him because I don't get it. Because as you probably know, with me and Grant, we work very unsociable hours. So my family time and my free time suffers from it. And I just think it's important for me to always make time for my son and for my missus, really.
You're not slide tackling now, are you?
No.
I've tried it. It don't work. It's not the same.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try and get over to some more games. It's just fitting in the time around work.
Well, we would go into. Sorry, I'll continue, please.
I'm not a dad, but I've been. It's tough when a newborn to juggle that. But as I get older, I imagine it would be kind of easier to work out a schedule and work out like a routine.
Bruce, I've done my homework on you just before this. You've played one game for CSM since you've kind of since the baby's been born. This is more of a personal question as well. How did it feel playing that game?
Which one? Because I played one friendly and I played one league match.
We'll go with a league match because friendlies are a bit relaxed.
I was knackered. I don't think I could have lasted 10 minutes, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you know what is? I don't know. I think it's just because with my son, I nearly broke down in tears last week talking about it on the pod. But it's weird. I think the way my son was born and he was in hospital for 2 months and that, I fell out of everyone, every manager, everything. Yeah. Like I would deliberately not put my thumb up for a squad. And then I would just kick off when I weren't in the squad. I just wanted that release. The reason I'm asking you, I don't know, because when I become a dad, and when I was playing the games, I just couldn't concentrate on what I was doing. Instead of thinking to go and win the ball, I thought I'm going to dive in like an idiot here, and I don't care if I hurt the guy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
But, it's like, when you did play that league game, was you actually able to concentrate, or was you worried about what your son was doing? No matter where they are, if they're at safe or anything, they're always in the back of your mind, aren't they? Was you able to just concentrate fully on the game and stuff like that?
Yeah, of course. He's always in my thoughts. But
he is. This is the problem, isn't it? They just don't leave you thoughts in that.
No.
But Alfie, I just thought I'd let some of the fans know, if we've got any fans, I don't know. They watch the pod. You are going to become a bit of a co-host with myself when I do need you and stuff like that. It's as a lot of people that do know, you do have a slight bit of autism, which is probably can pick up on the pod because he does waffle on a lot. Does this, you are quite a good goalkeeper. You can play centre half for my 7-a-side team, which is quite good. You do a good job. How do you feel this it affects you when you are playing?
Well, sport is massive for all people with autism, especially growing up as a kid. Now, because I haven't got severe autism. There's people, kids with lots of severe autism don't know how to act in social situations, and so it taught me when I was a kid. I hated to lose. When I played cricket and I got out batting, I used to lose my temper. But growing up, when I moved to my dad's team that my dad played for, it was it taught me that sport is not about winning or losing. It's about people you're with, you're playing with, and it's taking part. If you win, it's great. If not, it's weird. It's not important. But autism, also people with autism in sport, it can teach them social situations, and it's massive because it also gives them a release. People feel like a release, something to look forward to and something to focus on.
How much is sport helps with your condition? Well, I wouldn't say condition. I wouldn't see it as condition, but your day-to-day life.
Oh, it's massive. It is important because that cricket. It's massive because people with autism need. When I was growing up, it was unheard of. It was so.
Probably a massive confidence booster as well.
Yeah, he was kind of brushed with like they did with ADHD kids, with he's nothing wrong with him. He's just naughty.
Exactly. Yeah. But it is it's confidence booster as well. It helps massively because they can get frustrated with no one, people don't understand, or people don't. But when you get a group of people around you, eventually we will understand. And you start to see the child with autism coming out of their shell more, and started be more confident, and it helps them. It helps them in their future life.
What about stuff with like anxiety and that with coming into the sport? Because one thing I'd like to say, like I don't have no condition which I know of, but you know, growing up, I was always felt like I had to prove myself when playing football. But even to this day now, even with the CSM lads now, like I generally with the Sunday team and probably the Saturday team, I could probably do a job, but I could probably perform better for the Saturday team than I would the Sunday team, just to the fact that I can only play with confidence. And I know them Sunday boys have made a judgment on me already, which they probably think I can't play. So straight away in my head, I'm bottom of the pile. I used to go to tournaments at Mile End, where I think when it was about under 17 and stuff like that. And if I see people there I knew, my anxiety kicked in straight away, and I was like, no, I'm going home, I'm not playing. But, you know, growing up, I thought there was nothing wrong with that. I didn't think that was anxiety or anything. It's only till I've grown up and people are starting to talk about it a bit more. And I'm a bit like now, even today, like, I'll be walking around and I'll be like, hold on a minute, like, that point in my life, that was that. This was that, you know. I like to say mental health is a bit of a jigsaw puzzle now. I think everything is still a lot of work to be done, but it's all slowly starting to come together. But Alf, my whole point on that, before I waffled on about myself, as I always do every week, because I love myself too much. Did you ever have them problems when you did have autism? Did you ever take a step back? You know, when I took you over to football teams to train, was you a bit like, oh no, like, does that make sense?
Well, not really, because I've always been this size. I've always been big. So when people look at me, think, oh, he's not much. Especially cricket, and I bowl, because in cricket people think, oh, he's not a fast bowler. He's not gonna, and I perform. It does give you a good feeling. But I've never had really, and I don't remember being anxious playing sport really, because it's something I love to do. Whether I'd love playing sport. But I haven't really gone through that anxiousness, and not that I can remember.
Bruce, have you ever felt it from what I meant by like always trying to prove yourself? And there were certain people there you just knew straight away that they just didn't rate you, and you went straight to the pile and just it affected your mood, and you just didn't bother trying.
Oh yeah, there's been lots of occasions, especially when I was younger. I used to doubt myself a lot, and you know, I'd be interested in trialing for teams, and I'd sort of go there and see the standard of players that were there, and also obviously knowing them from around different teams, I would sort of pull myself out and wouldn't actually express myself. Whereas I've now learned to overcome that over the years.
Yeah,
because sorry, Rob.
No, Alf, please continue.
I played for a club, a local to me, called Cobra Reds. And I was playing for them, and a new coach took over, and he found out about my autism and ADHD, and he said, "No, I don't want him. I don't want him in the thing." So Dad thought, "Well, stuff you. I'll take him to play cricket." And I had a coach called for Penford Cricket Club called Keith Hurst, who said, I really like Alfie, and I like him playing. I think cricket. And that belief when someone believes in you is good. Is a really good feeling. But when you get that, but when someone says to you, oh, "I don't want you because of your autism," and someone says, "No, I like you. You're good," it does give you a massive raise in spirits. And
sorry, Alf, just to interrupt you. How old was you when it happened?
I started playing cricket when I was 8, so I was about 8 years old.
So, you know, being at 8 years old, like, I don't understand what autism is now to an effect. I don't think Bruce probably doesn't know 100% what it is. You being 8 years old with a condition yourself, you know, how would that, as an 8-year-old, how does that make you feel to be spoken to like that?
I mean, it wasn't the coach who told me, it was my mum and dad.
Okay. So how did that make you feel when they did tell you?
I was upset because all my school friends were playing for that team at the time.
Yeah, I think it is as well, Alf. Like, I do see you as my brother anyway, and you know, like when I do tell people you have got autism, they're like, "What? He's got autism?" Like they know you're a bit outspoken and you are a bit energetic at times, but you know, it's not that in your face, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's so no, when you was this 8-year-old good boy growing up, did it make you feel? I hate to use this, and please don't feel I'm brushing you with this brush. Did it make you feel different to other kids?
I don't know. I don't remember. I remember was I was being upset. I've never really felt different because when you grow up with autism, it's all you ever know.
Mm.
So, for me looking at myself, I don't feel any different than anyone else. But someone else might say, "Oh, he's a bit different." But for me, because he's a part of me, I don't find it anyone different than anyone else. It's just what I grew up with. It's what I know.
So, you know, when someone does that, you know, Alf, what do you do to interact that? What do you do to prove I'm wrong?
I think we'll stuff him. I'll show him. It gives you something to fire you up and say I'm gonna play well. You doubt me, I'll show you.
That fighting spirit is what we all need, Alf. Gents, we're gonna wrap it up there. Thank you very much. That was episode 7 of Just Talk. We're gonna stick Alfie's Twitter in the bio. Bruce, would you like your Twitter or your Instagram in the bio?
Yeah, go for my Instagram.
We're going to go for his Instagram. He's a good-looking lad. Go and follow him. Alf, you've got your hand raised there, like in reception. Are you all right? Was it nothing? No? All right.
No, it's just
Cheers. My personal email address is going to be in the bio. You know, we've tried to touch a bit more on mental health this week.
I'm spreading that everywhere, so I can get a load of shit. I'm joking.
Video's still going, Alf. My personal email address will be in the bio. If anyone feel they need to talk out, it will be totally anonymous. We will not do anything unless we feel we need to help you. We will respond to you, of course. It will totally be anonymous. Just don't feel you have to leave your name. You can even make a fake email address if you feel the need. Please go and follow us on @JustTalkCSM on Twitter. And guys, if you're listening and watching, hit the like button, please. Subscribe and have a great week. Boys, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Congratulations again, Bruce.
Enjoyed it, man.